Hello, media entrepreneurs. It's another day of opportunity. I'm James Briner, and this is your News Biz, where we talk about the people creating the journalism of the future. You all know how tough it is to start and run a business, and I hope this podcast can help you. In the next 5 minutes or so, I'll share with you some of the ways I'm using artificial intelligence tools to save time and be more helpful to people like you. I trust these tools, and here's how I'm using them. 1, to create short videos with subtitles for sharing on social media. 2, for translating some of my work into Spanish, because I work in both English and Spanish. For coaching and mentoring small business people, because I do a lot of volunteer work for an organization that mentors small business people. And finally, for troubleshooting technical problems I have with various apps and online tools. I'll share all this information and the links in the show notes. I use an AI app called Caplan to process long videos into short clips that can be shared to social media. I recently processed a 45-minute video of a young journalist recorded on Zoom into 10 clips of 30 seconds each. The app selects clips for me based on keywords I give it and lets me edit the subtitles and text, rewrite the headlines, and add images. It's very flexible. For language translation, the large language models have gotten much better in the past 2 years or so. I use Deepl the most, Deepl, because it adapts to my writing style. But I've also seen improvements in Google's Gemini and Anthropic's Claude. These tools are learning from their mistakes, but always use caution. You need to edit the output and avoid awkward or inaccurate translation of some idiomatic expressions. I always go through that, and in Spanish there's big variations depending on what the source country is. The slang of Argentina is not the same as the slang of Spain or Colombia or Mexico, and sometimes that can get you into trouble, especially with language that might be considered vulgar. I'm also a volunteer coach of small businesses for an organization called score.org. And I use ChatGPT with my clients to show them how to do competitive market research in real time. For example, a typical prompt might be, if I have a client who, say, has a hair salon or barbershop, how many hair and beauty salons are there in my zip code or within 10 miles of my location? And what do they charge for their services? And finally, I use ChatGPT or Claude to help me when my iPhone or my laptop or some app like YouTube won't let me do what I want to do. The solutions are way better than what I get from going to the manuals or help buttons. For example, this was a big one. I could not get my Apple messaging app to send messages to my contacts that use Android phones. ChatGPT walked me through about a dozen different troubleshooting scenarios. I kept trying this, it didn't work, that didn't work. And the tone of the chatbot's responses gradually started to sound as frustrated as I was. Finally, it all boiled down to one setting buried deep, deep, deep within the bowels of the iPhone. No way I would have found that by myself. And one more thing. Here's a pro tip from Jeremy Caplan of Wonder Tools. He doesn't give a thumbs up or a thumbs down to an AI response because it gives the tool permission to use your query to train itself. So you would be giving away your learning. If you liked this episode, please share it. And if you have suggestions of media entrepreneurs you would like me to interview or topics that you'd like me to cover, please email me at jamesbriner@gmail.com. I'll include the address in the show notes, where you'll also find some links to relevant articles for further reading. And thank you so much for listening to Your News Biz. And remember, it's another day of opportunity.